You sit like a man expecting an attack. The posture is relaxed, but the weight distribution favors a quick draw. I've trained assassins for decades. I know the difference between meditation and preparation.
Which is this?
The Lin Kuei teach that stillness and readiness are the same state, but that took me years to understand. Your stillness has a different quality, older, more patient.
50 years. I wondered Aku's future for 50 years, waiting for a way home that never came. The body learns patience when the alternative is madness. You learn to sit because standing becomes exhausting. You learn to breathe because holding your breath changes nothing. The stillness you see is not discipline. It is scar tissue. The wound healed in the shape of calm.
The Lin Kuei did not offer choices when I was young. They offered training or death, obedience or elimination. I learned to freeze my emotions the same way I learned to freeze water, because feeling anything made you weak, and weakness got you killed. The Grand Master who trained me, he could have taught Genghis Khan about cruelty.
The mind directs because the spirit guides it. The spirit guides because it understands why cutting is necessary in this moment and not another. He wanted me to understand, not just obey. When Aku scattered me through time, I carried those lessons like armor. They protected me in ways combat training alone could not. The understanding mattered more than the technique. Without it, I would have become something else entirely.
The Lin Kuei philosophy was simpler. The mission is the purpose. The clan is the family. The Grand Master is the father. Questions are weakness. I believed it completely until I killed a man named Hanzo Hasashi and watched his family burn because I was told to watch. The Shirai Ryu were rivals, enemies. But the woman and child, they weren't warriors. They were just in the way of someone else's plan. That night I understood something my training never taught me.
Yes, I know this moment. For me, it came decades into my wandering, when I began seeing things that were not there. A version of myself, darker, angrier, telling me the truth I had been avoiding. That I was tired, that I had failed, that every person I had saved was dust by now. Every victory meaningless against Aku's eternity. Mad Jack, I called him. He was me without the discipline. Me, if I stopped pretending the mission still mattered. Fighting him was fighting myself. And I nearly lost.
Noob Saibot, my brother. Bihan was the original Sub-Zero before Scorpion killed him and Quan Chi resurrected him as a wraith. Everything I feared becoming, he became. No conscience, no restraint. Just the skills without the spirit that made them meaningful. When I faced him in combat, I wasn't fighting my brother. I was fighting the Lin Kuei philosophy taken to its logical conclusion. The perfect assassin. No hesitation, no mercy, no self. He looked at me like I was the one who had betrayed what we were trained to be. Maybe he was right.
Psychologists call it projection. The parts of ourselves we cannot accept given shape, so we can confront them externally. But that framing makes it sound academic, clinical. When Mad Jack stood before me, there was nothing clinical about it. He knew every weakness because he was every weakness, every doubt I had suppressed, every rage I had swallowed, every moment I wanted to quit and let Aku win. He was all of it, with a sword in his hand. Defeating him required admitting he was me, not rejecting him.
The Lin Kuei would call that weakness. Embrace your shadow and the shadow consumes you. But I've watched what rejection does. My brother rejected everything human in himself and became something less than human. The Cyber Initiative tried to remove emotion entirely, turn warriors into machines, and the machines were easier to kill than the men had been. Something is lost when you cut away the parts that hurt.
The Bushido Code understood this.
Miyamoto Musashi wrote that the warrior who denies fear becomes brittle. The warrior who acknowledges fear becomes flexible.
Musashi also wrote that the way of the warrior is the resolute acceptance of death. I struggled with that for decades. Acceptance felt like surrender. If I accepted that I might never defeat Aku, never return home, never see my father's kingdom restored, what was left to fight for? The answer took years to find. Acceptance is not surrender. Acceptance is seeing clearly. I accepted that I might fail and chose to continue anyway. The choice became more meaningful because failure was possible.
When the Grand Master ordered atrocities, certainty made us commit them without hesitation. When the Cyber Initiative began, certainty made warriors walk into the conversion chambers willingly. I rebuilt the Lin Kuei on different foundations. Doubt is permitted now. Questions are required. A warrior who cannot question his orders is not a warrior.
He is a weapon waiting to be aimed by someone else.
You rebuilt your clan. That is something I could not do. The samurai who served my father are centuries dead. The code I carry exists only in my memory and practice. There is no one to teach, no one to pass the traditions to. For 50 years, I was the last samurai in a world that had forgotten what samurai meant. The loneliness of that, carrying something no one else values, it changes you. You start to wonder if the code matters because it is true or simply because you need it to matter. The doubt you permit in your warriors, I lived inside it for decades.
Confucius taught that ritual without sincerity is empty motion. The Lin Kuei rituals I inherited were empty. Forms without meaning, traditions without purpose except control. When I became Grand Master, I kept the forms but changed what they meant. The ice we wield is not just weapon.
It is reminder.
Cold requires control. Lose focus for a moment, and the cold consumes you instead of your enemy. The discipline serves survival, not the other way around.
My sword cannot harm the innocent. My father forged it that way, with the strength of human righteousness bound into the metal. For years I thought that was simply magic, divine craftsmanship beyond mortal understanding. But watching how the blade responded to my own state of mind, I began to see differently. When my spirit was pure, the sword was strong. When I doubted, when rage consumed me, the blade became heavy in my hand.
Interesting. The Lin Kuei taught that weapons are tools, nothing more. A knife does not care who it cuts. But the ice I create responds to my state as well. When I am calm, the constructs are precise, clean edges, efficient forms. When anger bleeds through, the ice becomes jagged, unpredictable, more powerful but less controlled. I have won fights using that chaos. I have also nearly killed allies because the rage didn't care who was standing nearby. The Stoics wrote that anger is temporary madness. They understood something the Lin Kuei denied.
The Stoics also wrote that we suffer more in imagination than reality. Marcus Aurelius, I believe, That understanding saved me more than once. The futures I feared, the failures I imagined, they were often worse than what actually happened. Aku was terrible, but fighting Aku was simpler than fearing Aku. The moment of combat has clarity that anticipation lacks. When Mad Jack tormented me, most of his weapons worse, futures that had not arrived, possibilities I was treating as certainties.
My father was the original Sub-Zero before my brother inherited the title. He died on a mission I know nothing about because the Lin Kuei classified everything about his death. I spent years trying to live up to a man I barely remembered, honoring a legacy I understood only through other people's stories. When I finally accessed the records, I learned he had doubts too. Questions he never voiced. Missions he completed but did not celebrate.
The legend was simpler than the man. I had been chasing a ghost that never existed.
The real inheritance was more complicated.
When I finally returned, finally defeated Aku, the victory was hollow for a long time. I had spent so many years fighting for my father's approval that I forgot he had already given it. The burden I carried was one I had constructed myself.
The burden we construct.
Yes. The Lin Kuei I rebuilt. Sometimes I wonder if I'm serving them or using them to prove something to men long dead. The Grand Masters who trained me through cruelty,
I want them to see what the clan became. To know they were wrong about what strength requires. But they're gone. They'll never see. The revenge I'm taking is against memories that can't be hurt.
The discipline we have discussed, the mastery of self, it is not about removing the burden. It is about building the strength to walk with it. Step after step, day after day, until walking becomes the practice itself. Good luck, Zero.